Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Rainbow, and here is her story. Hi, Ollie. Just an update video request with a contribution through PayPal. Thanks for all that you do. I have successfully gone 2 years no contact with the last of my 3 narc siblings. You've done videos for me before, about them, and it really helped me feel validated in my understanding of what was really going on. I went no contact with the worst of them August 11, 2013, after the Lake Tahoe Family Grand finale, performed by my narc sister and her narky pathological liar of a daughter. So I feel great about having completely avoided seeing them in person for that long. It's really true, the longer we're away from them, the better we feel. I have no idea what you would title this, but the last contact I had with my younger sister and the last of the flying monkey narcs to go was 2 years ago, as I mentioned. She came for a visit after a bad breakup. She wanted some sympathy, I'm sure, and at the time I felt like, wow, cool, she needs me. But maybe she'll finally get it that I am not the problem, but our narc older sister is. Listen, if all the time she ever comes to you is when she needs something, then she's just as much of the problem as the older sister. We talked about everything. At one point, she admitted how evil our sister is, and in the next breath proceeded to tell me that she just couldn't boot her from her life because she had never done anything to her. Well, there it is. Well, they didn't do anything to me. That is, at that point, when you hear those words, when you're explaining to somebody like your sister who knows with full well what goes on, and they're acknowledging it, and they say, oh, well, they never did anything to me, as an excuse for them that's it. That should be the last thing that you should ever hear out of their fucking mouth. At that point, when you hear those words, and I heard them out of my brother's mouth, he didn't do that to me. Not that it didn't happen to me. He knew it happened. They acknowledge it happened to you, but they won't break contact because it didn't happen to them. Those should be the last words you ever heard out of her mouth. And you should have left her there crying and alone, and fuck you. You see, she viewed my abuse as not having affected her at all. This was the turning point for me, as it should have been. I realized in that moment that she had gone full throttle flying monkey. What I didn't see that day was just how fucking narky she had become. She was always that way. She'd come there for sympathy for herself over her breakup. And now here you are trying to reason with her and say, hey, there's a bigger fucking picture here. That's not why she came there to begin with. It's her last day of her visit and about 4 hours from having to take her to the airport. She mentions how she wanted a different hair color. I said, your hair looks really pretty. It did. She has long, thick, beautiful hair, but she continued to assert that she paid her colorist $245 to put some mahogany tones in her hair, but didn't really see any difference. I'm a professional hairstylist and colorist. I said, well, there's only 3 major things not to like about a color change. 1, it's too dark. 2, it's too light. Or 3, it's the wrong tone of colors. She said, I wanted more red and coppers in there. I said, well, you just had a breakup. Maybe a change is not a great idea. I refrain from a total makeover with clients who've had a new breakup, and it served me well. No one has ever cried in my chair. She insisted she wanted red tones put in. I agreed to do a semi-permanent, meaning it would fade out gradually with no harsh line of regrowth. Color as sort of a glaze to enhance some of those tones that she wanted to see. Free of charge, I might add. Well, that's why she was saying it to you to begin with. That's why she was saying it to you to begin with. She wanted the hair done. You're a hairstylist. I know how picky she is, so I even showed her color swatches and offered to put more blonde pieces in. Instead, I know how wrong going red can feel, especially when someone is emotionally raw. No, she insisted on wanting the red tones I was going to put in. I showed her color swatches and said, you will see reds, warm reds and cool, as well as copper. You do know that copper is orange, right? All of those colors will melt together, but will be way more visible out in the light. Yes, yes, she said. That is what I want. I also explained that her hair would appear darker over her natural medium blonde hair. I reiterated that she would see the red tones too, but it would be a pretty more natural red rather than a violet red. She seemed delighted with the idea. I colored her hair and gave her a Victoria's Secret blowout, and she loved it. She went on and on about it and bounced off to her plane. My husband even said, wow, that looks fantastic. It was unanimous. It looked fabulous on her and made her blue eyes pop. I even followed up a week later in intent to see what reactions she got and if she still loved it. It would have been an easy enough change back for any pro. She assured me she loved it. She even put 3 exclamation marks in her text, I love it. After a few weeks later, the one niece I actually speak to, the older Narky sister's daughter who had gone no contact with her for her own horror show reasons, came for a visit. People like to visit sunny San Diego. I always rock her hair for her when she is here. And like my clients, she loves it. I do high-end quality work, and it would run about $250 to $300 in the salon for what I do. But I love her, and I am happy to work on her hair free of charge. She came and told me that she had seen my sister and mentioned she was coming for a visit. She also added that my sister had bitched on and on about how I ruined her hair. She was uncomfortable telling me this, but I thought I should know, but thought I should know what she was saying about my work. She said that she thought it looked really pretty. She said that my sister said I put too much red in it and purposely tried to ruin her hair because I was always jealous of it. That did it. I was really pissed for a while. But what I'm still mad about is the fact that with narcs, you never get the real story. What you should really be mad about, what you should really be mad about is none of this should have ever have happened. Because you should have walked out the second she said, well, no, well, it didn't happen to me. She's telling you who she is right there. It's only about her. Always. You tried to pour your heart out and explain this narcissist and all the abuse you went through, and she acknowledged it and then said, well, it didn't happen. I'm not going to break count because it didn't happen to me. And then you go and do $250 to $300 worth of color work to her hair, and you're surprised this happened? You should be mad because it should have never have come to this. Because you should have cut it at it never happened to me. They will also find the one thing you are passionate about and try to piss all over it. If that were even remotely true and she hated her hair, I could have toned it back, no problem, on the spot. But the thing is, she did like her hair. So what happened? She just had the opportunity to use it as an excuse to get whatever she wanted off her daughter. Off your niece. Oh, she ruined her hair. Could it be that your sister is jealous of your niece and was trying to dissuade her from going to her because she would look better than her. Could that have been it? That makes more sense. I don't necessarily think it was about you, even though she threw you right under the bus, as the flying monkey will do, because it didn't happen to her. She's telling you you don't fucking matter if you get abused. So if your older sister can abuse you, she can abuse you. And she'll abuse you by making up lies, and it ain't even about you. It's about jealousy of your niece, because she knows what a good job you did on her hair, and she don't want you to do such a good job. She don't want her niece going to her, going to you, so you can make the niece look better than her. That's what it's about. And none of it should have happened. Because you should have just cut her off at, it didn't happen to me. So what happened? My best guess is when our older sister visited her, she found out I did her hair and said, God, why is it so red? Or something insinuating it looked bad. You're giving her far too much credit. I don't think so at all. The only person who could make my younger sister change her opinion, she got to her, and the flying monkey bowed to it. Then they badmouthed me. She cautioned my niece about how she should be careful about letting me do her hair since I ruined hers. What a lying bitch. My niece's reply was, I always loved what she does to my hair. I will go 8 months without because she is the only one I trust my hair with. So I wanted to vent just how shitty they really are, just because it confirms why I stay no contact. This is what you get. They praise you to your face and stab you with a burning lance of freedom behind your back. You will never get the truth from their lying mouths. By the way, this is the same ungrateful sister who hit me up for $5,000 and never made all the payments to pay us back. Even though she signed a contract and a promissory note, I guarantee you the narc older sister would never have lent her $5,000. The truth is, my work was beautiful, and I witnessed and witnesses and confirmations when I asked. I know that I even tried to talk her out of going reddish, not because I didn't think it was suitable, it looked great, but because I knew she would crumble when the narc sister saw it. Yet I did it anyway. What was I thinking? I knew she would suddenly decide she didn't like it. After all, her saying that to my niece just made it worse, and that was the final straw. No contact at all since. I forgot that doing anything generous or well would put a target on my back. The two sisters are competitive, and I assure you our younger sister looked 1,000 times better. The fact is, I can't do what they can't. I can do what they can, and that bothers them. As a side note, for years, I was a stay-at-home mom, and then their excuse for mistreating me was that I had no ambition or career and wasn't relatable. To them, staying home and caring for my child was being lazy. I was sacrificing other material things to be present for my child. It was a choice my husband and I made for our family. They have no idea what hard work is because our parents cared for their kids, practically raising them after their marriages blew up. And one of their husbands was caught molesting his daughters. Then their excuse was that I was a Christian. They decided what that meant and rejected me for that. Then it was because I had too much money. Then it was because I had a son and they had daughters. Then I was poor. Then I was too poor. Any excuse, they go on. And so, having gone no contact hurt like hell, but it was worth it. I don't have to waste my time or talent on those miserable bitches. Thanks for letting me vent. Thanks for all you do to support those still suffering. Hugs to you and Charlene. Rainbow. Well, Rainbow, it's not only you, because I think it has more to do with the niece looking better. They didn't want you to have the satisfaction of making the niece look better than they did. And not that you would have been thinking of it like that, but they sure would have. It's both your sisters. And none of this ever would have happened if you just would have cut contact at it didn't happen to me. So thank you so much for your contribution and your story. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.